So I want to start off this stream by saying this is just for fun, okay? We have a small disclaimer here. I'm gonna go over a few designs and I'm breaking down a certain pattern I've noticed in a lot of VTuber designs and a lot of successful VTuber designs. I'm not claiming my VTuber design is successful, okay? I have myself in the slides as well because I don't feel comfortable just like breaking other people's designs apart like I did with my own. So that's just a small disclaimer. I'm not patting myself on the back here. Ow! If you're gonna follow these steps, it's not guaranteed that you'll have a very successful VTuber design. And if you are not following the steps, it can still happen that you're gonna pop off big. And, you know, please don't take this the wrong way. Please don't twist my words. Please don't say I claim to okay, have a set of rules you have to follow. But I feel like this can be like an interesting thing to go over and keep in mind, because I've noticed a bunch of times that not everybody is like, they sometimes don't know where to start or what to keep in mind when they want to design a VTuber design. I've seen people just doing, I don't know, a persona, and then they're like confused why nobody, you know, wants to draw their design. And it's like, listen, I get it. Because I also have a bad design example done by myself at the end of the slide, and I'm gonna break down why this design is bad for a VTuber, but not necessarily bad designing in itself, okay? So design can be good, but it's just not the right medium. So let's begin. Number one, please keep the medium in mind. And in order for me to break down how to keep the medium in mind, okay, we're gonna break down game characters. We have these characters, and don't get me wrong, they're amazing character designs. They have a lot of detail, a lot of culture detail in there, but it doesn't mean that they necessarily work for streaming, okay? Genshin has something in their characters that is intended for gameplay, and you notice that with the back of the design. Every character's back has a very detailed design or something going on that is important for the character to be viewed, you know, because most you see from them is from the back side because you're running as them, and then you only see the character's backside. That's why you also have sometimes hair from a long-haired Genshin character that is split in the middle only so you can see the what's it called, the vision. but yeah, this design is very detailed, but also his colors fall very flat, which is something we'll notice when we go over the color palette thingy later. So it works for, you know, gaming, but it doesn't really work for streaming because you have so much shit going on, you don't know where to look. And same goes for Zhongli. Like, he has so much going on down here with his like pattern and everything, but if he were to be a VTuber, everything would be cut off. And he doesn't really have a very recognizable silhouette as well. Like, it's just a dude with some hair. So that's why I'm saying keep the medium in mind. Your design isn't necessarily bad just because it's quote-unquote bad for streaming, if you get what I'm saying, okay? Because these character designs are very good. These are good character designs, but I just don't think they would work as good for streaming. And let's move on, okay? So let's break down why this character works for streaming. First of all, she has a coherent color palette, okay? We have the white and the black as base colors. And then we have poppy colors like the pink and the yellow that give some sort of recognition, okay? Then we have iconic thunderbolts. I think that's what they're called, you know? But basically, her character works fine for streaming because you have a theme going on. She's following said theme. And even if you cut off this part here, you still see stuff that's going on for streaming without having to rely on the design in the bottom. You have her twin tails that work very well for streaming. You have these little bows that are also very recognizable. Yeah, we love Leah here, okay? Recently she also got more haircuts. Like she got like toggles, but I didn't get the pictures for that, so I'm very sorry. And each of them are working very much fine for streaming. Like, she's not overloading her design with too much detail, because the thing is, you also have to keep riggers in mind, okay? Is that easy to rig? I'm not a rigger, but it's more so doable than doing all the things on Deluxe uniform before, because she doesn't have too many cluttered things on there. The design is flowing, the open shoulders break it up a little bit, and it's just, it seems balanced is what I'm saying, okay? Anyways, this first part will make more sense later on, but I'm gonna go over the silhouette test now. So what is the silhouette test? Basically, whose VTuber are these? Oh wait, I'm in the way. Can you recognize these VTubers? Type in chat. Type in chat if you can recognize them. One in here is like very cute. Anyways, why do these silhouettes work? Why can you recognize these characters based on their silhouettes alone? You do not see any colors. You don't see any details. You only see the shapes. These VTubers, this one very unintentionally, worked with shapes to generate a design that will be recognizable. So if you want to work on a VTuber and you have no idea where to start, maybe start by just drawing a blackout silhouette. Just like, you know, go in, zoom out of the canvas and just work with shapes. Shapes that you think will be recognizable, and then later fill in the details, okay? I feel like not many people keep that in mind, or many people overlook that you should work with shapes in order to, you know, get a recognizable design going. Okay, so let's move on. The 40% rule. The 40% rule essentially ties in with the medium of streaming. Keep in mind, like, what are you seeing of me right now? You do not see my legs. You don't even see my torso, really. You only see, at best, 30 to 40% of me, okay? So, you see this VTuber here? She has a very recognizable silhouette. She would definitely pass the silhouette test as well, because not only does she have these cyber bunny ear thingies and the rings on her hair, she also has the cables. So that definitely works very well as a recognizable silhouette. And she also has these things that are coming off from her jacket, which makes her overall silhouette very recognizable. But the focus of the design definitely lays here. That doesn't mean that this part of her design is boring, because no, she put also a lot of thought into this part of her design. But the most important part of her design, this here, is already very recognizable. She has a good balance, like cut here with the jacket, and then it breaks open to reveal like a little bit of titty, because titty is very important. Basically, you have to focus the important and or the very interesting parts of your design on this part, the part that will people see the most often. I have one more example just because I like showing more than one example. But here we have the same thing. He would definitely pass the silhouette test because this, like the bunny ears and the piercings and the earring he's got going on, very recognizable. And again, he also has this demon tail thingy, also very recognizable. He doesn't have too much going on the leg department, which is fine because you don't always see the legs. All the action is playing here. Your legs can still be fancy, okay? But nobody's gonna look at your legs when you stream. I'm sorry. So now let's go over to color palettes. Color palettes is a little bit of a tricky one because this is not necessarily a rule you have to follow, okay? Like all the others, you don't have to do anything I say. But basically, it's hard to find the sweet spot. So I just figured I'll go over stuff I've noticed a lot of VTubers, a lot of popular and successful VTubers do. That is Inamioki. She's very cute. She recently had a re-debut with this design. Before that, she had a different design. But the important part about her new design is that she still kept the same color palette more or less. She never really strayed away from the cyan and the orange. That was like always part of her design. And she also always had like white in her design. So that's like very interesting to note that if you do have a color palette, it's best if you should, you know, kind of stick to it throughout your variations of designs. Obviously, you can do a 180 if you want to, but you don't need to. But basically, I broke down some of the color palette things I noticed as some VTubers do. So we have like two neutral colors, which is the brown and the white. These work as a base, as a neutral base. Then you have the accent color, which is the gold, because she has a lot of gold accents in her design. And then you have the 2 to 3 poppy colors that work to bring out the life in the design. Because I normally really dislike orange as a color, okay? But I cannot imagine her design without the orange, and I feel like she made it work. She made me like the color. This is how good she was with the color palette, guys. Can you imagine the power this VTuber holds if they can make you like a color? That's the importance of color palettes, okay? I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here, okay? But I follow a similar pattern of having 2 neutral colors as a base. I have the white as a neutral color. My design is mostly white. And then I have the red, the pinkish red, and the blue as a poppy color working for itself. Because I have a lot of red in my design. Even though this is my hair color, it's still more of an accent to the whole design, okay? It works as an accent color more so as a poppy color. And this one also has the same eye color as my... the same color as my eye, okay? So we have a very balanced design, but let me tell you, my design wasn't always as balanced, and we're gonna go over how I improved my design, because it wasn't always that good, okay? I really like my design, okay? Let me have that. I found out it's the best thing to limit yourself to max 6 colors as main colors. Obviously, your small thingies, your small details can have different colors, but your main colors, the one you always see, should be kind of limited to at least 6. Because if you have a bunch of colors going on, you're gonna throw your entire design off balance. And here we have a good design example of somebody who doesn't have a lot of color variations going on, but it's still very balanced. She's not overdoing it. She doesn't even use a lot of different colors on different parts of the design, like we saw before with Yoki, because she has a brown and orange in the middle and then blue on top, and she doesn't even have that, but it still works very well. And again, her design is like very balanced because all the action is like going on here. She has those little octopus ear thingies. Then she has that bow here that has like a special pattern on it. That's very cute. She could make merch out of this, okay, if she wanted to. Like, it's very marketable. She has the black base. Then she has that blue here that pops up and breaks up the design a little bit. And then she just has very neutral legs because nobody cares about your legs. And then we have Limu. She's a very great artist, by the way. Check her out. She recently started streaming as well. Her design, also very balanced because you have the blue as the middle color and this one as like an accent. And then she has the poppy color being her red, because it like breaks up design again and just gives a splash of color. Her legs have mainly white stockings going on with a small pattern on it. I'm very sorry I couldn't show it here, but it's like very balanced. And again, it's another neutral color to pull the entire design together, okay? So yeah, about color palettes, long story short, limit yourself to neutral base color, 1 or 2 poppy colors, maybe even 3 if you want to go that far, and an accent color. Don't go overboard with the colors, okay? Because it can throw your design off balance very quick. Next part, your theme, aesthetic, or niche. If you're gonna become a VTuber, you know, you want to go for something. Some people want to go for a theme. In my case, it was mentally ill / nerd. Jokes aside, okay? My overarching theme is nurse, okay? So there we have it. Manhattan, nurse, 2 things, okay? Let's just show the examples. So we have Digicell, 029, and we have Reza. So what we can discuss about them. The theme you see here, it's Tamagotchi. She has the Tamagotchi ears, she has the egg thingies in her hair, she has a belt full of Tamagotchis, a Tamagotchi wristwatch, I cannot speak. So her theme, basically Y2K Tamagotchi, very recognizable. For her, easy, zombie nurse. She's not just a nurse, okay? She has missing body parts that were stitched together. She has ripped up clothes, missing eye, zombie nurse, easy, 2 things. And for her, plague doctor, very easy to recognize, okay? Plague and doctor. The mask, even without the mask, I feel like you can see that she has a medical theme going on, which is medieval because of the sleeves. The sleeves are very medieval themed. And you have that hairstyle, I don't know how it's called, also ties in very well. You can just recognize it immediately because also her bow here has that plague doctor thingy. So you know she has some gothic shit going on, okay? But to call back to other VTubers, you probably know Yoklash. Her VTuber Oni, easy. You recognize she's an Oni. Then we have Paco's belts from earlier. You know she's a chaotic rat, okay? You see her design is chaotic and she's a rat. You know she has to do with chaos, and you know rats is like 2 things. Because sometimes I've seen people being like, oh, I'm an evil overlord, demon queen, cat, alien, idol, but also a gamer, and like you have too many themes going on if you go for that. Try to limit yourself to like 2 or 3 themes max. Don't go overboard. I saw another VTuber. Her thingy is being a bat, and she chose a specific breed of bats, I guess. I forgot the name. But basically, if you want to be a cat girl, you can be a normal-ass cat girl. Or you can choose a specific breed of cat that has a specific pattern on their back. And then you can be this specific breed of cat, okay? This is how you can choose a niche inside a very broad design. So you don't always have to combine it with something if you don't want to. But I would recommend you to at least go for 2 things. So you switch it up a little. Limit yourself. Do not go overboard. sometimes less is more, okay? You can still have a niche even if your design is broad, because you may have seen a lot of nurse VTubers out there, but how many of them are also zombies? Or you may have seen a lot of zombie VTubers out there, but how many of them are also nurses, you know? Okay, also very important, please, keep fan artists in mind, okay? You need to keep fan artists in mind. Is your design good to be fan arted? Yes or no? Obviously, don't sacrifice your design for fan artists, but fan artists are the backbone of VTubers. How do you easily get recognition? By seeing the fucking design floating around the internet, okay? So if everybody's drawing you, okay, everybody will at least recognize you, even if they don't watch you, okay? They know, okay, I've seen this bitch before, you know? So yeah, fan art is very important. But let's go over it together, okay? Let's go over it a little. How beginner-friendly is your design? Is it too complex for people to draw? And will it resonate with people? Okay, I'm gonna take furries as an example here. Please don't hate me. But basically, if you're gonna become a furry VTuber, you have to keep in mind that furry is not for everybody, and you'll lose a large chunk of people who would maybe find you interesting just because of how your model looks. And that's just a sad reality, okay? You can have the most interesting personality, but if people are not into furry and you have a furry design, chances are they're not even gonna give you the time to check you out. And I'm not saying you have to like become a humanoid VTuber. Do whatever you want, okay? But keep in mind that maybe some designs resonate more with people than others, okay? Also, another thing, if something about your design is forgotten, or if somebody doesn't draw it, will it still be recognizable? That is very important, because imagine your entire design is based off only with your outfit. And if you then change the outfit, nobody will recognize you anymore. That would be fucking sucky, okay? So keep in mind that even if somebody draws you in a different outfit, or if something is forgotten about your outfit, that it will still be recognizable. Okay, so listen, I've received over 300 fan arts in my time of being, of having this design around, okay? I have so many fan arts, and obviously people forgot some part of my design. Sometimes people forgot my heart hover. Sometimes people even forget my hair dangles, okay? People can forget stuff. Sometimes people forget the colorful hair strands in my hair, okay? But my design is still recognizable because of other stuff I've included in that design. That's not a weird flex. It's not me flexing. That's accumulating of many years of having this design around, okay? This design exists since 2015, okay? It's been, oh my god. Sheesh. So, I have this one outfit, okay? Look how fucking detailed this is. Is it a cute-ass outfit? I think so, yes. But it's not good for fan arts. It's not good for VTubing. The artist and rigger who would have to do that would probably die of a stroke if they ever had to rig so many fucking physics on so many fucking hair clips. But yeah, there we have the test. Am I still recognizable? Look at me. No collar, still recognizable. No outfit, still recognizable. Different hairstyle, I would say still recognizable. This is basically what I've tried to teach you guys. Your color palette is important, but your VTuber needs to work without it. Same for your outfit. Your outfit is important, but your VTuber has to work naked as well, okay? Or else it might be difficult. And different hairstyle, it still should be recognizable as you, okay? And then we have variations. And again, I take Melody Sana Natalie as example, because this is her original design, okay? And she has these very iconic bunnies in her hair. And the thing with her is, if you were to draw her just naked, no bunny, you would think, okay, that's like a normal blonde girl, okay? But the thing is, she always keeps some sort of pink in her design. She also, for this design, she has the bunny ears in every iteration of her design. In every variation, she has that band thingy on both of her designs. It's not drawn on the ref for whatever reason, but she has it on her design. And the thing with this design, which I personally thought was really good, the obi and the obidome is literally mimicking that fucking bunny. The obidome mimicking the eyes of the bunny, and the obi itself mimicking the bunny. You can't see it in that angle, but she still has that bunny as a hair clip. And this right here is a nod to her fan base, because this is the mask of her senseis. But yeah, variations of your design should also work, so keep that in mind when you design your character, that it can also work without the main outfit. And then design aspects! Now we're gonna rip into my old design, okay? This is what you all have been waiting for. So here we have my very old design. That was 2016. It was a nurse uniform. I didn't have any good recognizable shit going on other than my hair. Keep in mind the eye color is still the same. Very bland. It's just white with a little bit of pink here. It's very one color. It's not very balanced at all. You don't have any accent color. You don't have anything that catches your eye. And of course, I overloaded my designs with a bunch of different hair clips that have nothing to do with my current, like, with being a nurse. The colors, why did I put orange and purple and green in my design? Like, it's just, it doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. Not recognizable at all. Just not a good design. But here we have a little bit better, okay? We finally added some pop to the design. We added some garters that made it a little bit better. We added a weapon belt because of course I needed a weapon belt. But is it good for VTubing? No. No, it's not. It's very, like, bottom heavy. You have so much shit going on here. Very overloaded. Also I have a different kind of blue that I have with my eyes. It's just two different kinds of blue. And we have pink and pink again, and then red. It's not balanced at all. So what changed? There we go. So this one was not bad, but this is how where we are now, okay? We still have, like, we improved a lot. First of all, we unified the colors a little bit more. Went for more poppy color. We got rid of all that bullshit. It's more minimalistic, but it still has the same vibes, if you know what I mean. So let's zoom in a little, okay? So first step, we decluttered my hair. We got rid of all that random bullshit because it was, like, literally so cluttered, and we made it easy. We have two main things. It's one band-aid, one cross. Very easy. Also, look at my eyes. That color was unified to be more in that color. It's more harmonizing with my hair. The hair strands are also more balanced out. We just like this a little bit more, okay? Also, the ahoga is way thicker. I guess that depends on the art style a little bit as well, but this little tiny thing is just... What is that? That can be plugged out and removed and nobody would notice. And this here, if you plug it out, I die. Same with the arms, okay? You have, like, this stuff here that implies some stuff, and we just made it a little bit more cohesive, okay? We even added a little bit of purple, but it's not overwhelming in my design. But yeah, it still brings the same point across without being too cluttered and too full of bullshit, okay? Another thing we did, because of all the details that were omitted, we were able to make these things here, the garters, thicker. They're, like, now wider and balance out the design more. We also completely got rid of the buttons, so that's also something, because the buttons were just not needed, if you think about it. And same for the legs. We unified the design a little bit. Instead of making these into band-aids, we now have a bandage design going on. We made it the same color as my eyes. It's not a different type of blue anymore that comes out of literally nowhere. We got rid of my weapon belt, which... It's okay, I'm not allowed to have weapons on Twitch. Nobody needs to see where I store my syringes, okay? I still have them. And we just, you know, got rid of the pink in that here too. We just replaced it with the red because why do we need two colors on the legs? Yeah, we just decluttered my design. It's now more harmonizing. And now on to a bad design example. So this is my art. I can shit on it. This is not a bad character design for the medium it's intended to be in, but it would be a very bad character design for VTubing. Because the thing is, her silhouette, she just simply fails the silhouette test. She would not fail it if her hair hands were, like, out, okay? Then she would not fail it. But if her hair hands have to be permanently out for her to be recognizable, she would not work for streaming because she would cover the entire fucking stream with her hair hands. That is, like, not good for VTubing. Also, a color palette is uninspired if it comes to VTubing. It's literally just bluish black plus red. Nobody gives a shit about this. Nothing stands out about this. Like, don't get me wrong. I like the design, okay? And she works in the story she's in. Because the thing is, she's for my own story, okay? She's intended to blend into the background. She's not intended to stand out. Her abilities is what have her, like, make her stand out in the plot. And they are revealed later, so she has to fall under the radar. So in that sense, she works for my story. She works for the plot I've written. She would not work for VTubing. She's failing the silhouette test. She's failing the 40% rule because she has maybe 20% going on here and 0% going on here. And if she has something going on here, she's not good for streaming. So she also fails the medium test. She is easy to fan art, I guess, if you don't draw her hair hands. So I guess she excels in that department. But everything else, basically, not really good. Not really good for VTubing. So, let's conclude this stream, shall we? Keep in mind, your character will be used for streaming as a medium. So don't design something that will hinder the stream from being seen, aka call back to the hair hands we just saw. Work with shapes, okay? To construct a silhouette that works and will be recognizable even without colors or characteristics shown. Try to incorporate shapes into your design to make it stand out. Focus on the top half of your design. Don't make it bottom heavy while the top stays empty. Okay, the top has something to have going on there that makes people want to look at it. And remember to go for a balanced color palette. Try to incorporate a neutral base color. Let me just go in here so you guys can screenshot if you want. So I'm gonna become very tiny. Try to work with neutral base colors and decide on 1 to 2 poppy colors to help your design stand out a little bit and make it recognizable. Because if I were to show you a color palette, the one of Hako's belts, okay? If I were to show you the red with the yellow, the white, the cyan, and the black, people would probably associate it with beige. So your color palette also helps you and be recognizable. But don't only rely on colors to be recognizable, okay? Make sure your theme is clear. So try to limit yourself and don't make your character a combination of 50,000 themes at once, okay? Remember, you can always go for upgrades later on with, you know, like re-debuts with different lore, where you have some changes to your design. You don't always have to incorporate everything you like in your first design. You can decide on 1 to 2 things you like and then go for re-debuts for the other stuff that maybe would clash with your current theme. Make sure to balance the details of your design. Keep in mind, more is not always better. Sometimes less is more. And less details doesn't equal it has to be boring, okay? Keep fan artists in mind. The vital point of your career, the more fan art you receive, the more viral you can actually go. So yeah, that was basically it. Do what makes you happy in your design. I just hope that this stuff can help people keep some certain things in mind when they design, because many people don't really know where to start when it comes to like a VTuber design. They don't know what to look out for. Then they design, I don't know, a persona that is like not really having the medium of VTubing in mind, and then they get disappointed that it doesn't really resonate with a lot of people because it's something very personal to them. My design actually got a lot of backlash in the beginning because some people told me they are totally not a fan of the theme. They love me, but they don't really like my design. And it was really crushing for me to hear at first. I was like, man, but it's me, you know? You should also try to not take this stuff too hard, because in the end, you have to like your own design, okay? You have to make sure you are comfortable with your design, because in the end, it'll kind of represent you going forward as a VTuber. So don't really listen to other people when they say, oh, I don't really like your design, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, but I like it, okay? Because you will find the people who like your design, okay? You'll find your people. It's just what I wanted to say. So yeah, basically, ignore everything I said, do whatever you want. Go apeshit, have fun.